I'm Christopher Lee. I would appear to be alive, although sometimes appearances can be deceptive. Did you ever lie awake in the stillness of the night and listen to the beating of your own heart? And if you did you ever stop to consider that it is only that steady beat that stands between you and darkness? The engine of life, so fragile and yet so strong, and how hard it is to still it. It was just such a telltale heart that became the thunder of a man's guilt in Edgar Allan Poe's famous tale of crime and madness. You see, when a man starts with murder, he then takes to stealing. And from stealing, it is a step to lying, drinking, and swearing. So you see where bad habits can lead.
To explain what I did, you must imagine my dreadful fear of his malignant eye. It was impossible to avoid. Always that same expression freezing my blood away. Always watching me, making the voices that my mind feared be one with the hate slowly infesting my every thought at night. That was, Doctor, how I came to kill him. I think, for me, it was essential. So you see, I couldn't be mad, as you suggest I am. Could I? I don't know when it all started. I never hated the old man, nor did I want his gold. It was his eye. As I say, I did not hate the old man. It was his eye. His left eye, it was pale blue, covered by a thin film. Evil. Evil. Each time it fell on me, my blood ran cold under its baleful stare. I waited for the night. For the past 7 nights, I had crept into his room, opening the door slowly so as not to wake him. I shone the dim ray of my lantern on the vulture eye, but it was always shut. So the work I had to do could not be done. evil eye. He never knew. How could he have known? He would have needed to be a very clever old man to know of my nightly vigil, of how I waited to destroy the eye. As the light from my lantern passed over his sleeping face, I knew that soon my chance would come. Soon. As I sat there, listening to him play and sing, I had a premonition that tonight, the 8th night of my vigil, would be my chance. I knew the time had come. You think I'm mad. You should have seen me. You would have known differently. I had been so kind to the old man for that whole week while I waited to kill him. And now was the time. I felt my heartbeat quicken with the joy of his approaching fate. I smiled with the pleasure at the way I had outwitted his evil eye. Nothing could save him now. My fingers clenched and squeezed the covers of my bed. All was still, quiet, hushed as the night awaited the fulfillment of my deed. Now was the time. What's that noise? I know I'm nervous, but I feel much better today in spite of the things you believe I did. So you see, it's all because he woke up in that fashion. It's because he'd always his eye on me. It made me fear him. In the lonely nights, I was woken by his beating heart. I must give you the reason why I never wanted to kill, but had to. Not because of hate, for example, but because of his evil eye.
Good morning, sir. We are police officers.
Police?
Yes, your neighbors have reported hearing screams during the night, and we are here to investigate.
Screams? Oh, but do come in, please. I may have had a nightmare.
I smiled and joked with them. For what had I to fear? The scream, I said, must have been one of my own, in a dream. The old man I mentioned was on a visit in the country. I took my visitors all over the house. I bade them search well. I took them into my room. I showed them round, laughing and talking. And then came the best part. I took them across the hall and into his room. I was very relaxed, quiet, at ease. I was enjoying myself. I showed them all his treasures, all there, intact. How I laughed to think of his body being under their feet. And they didn't know. It was a rare joke. I showed them his jewel box. They were very impressed. The chief policeman nodded his approval, and then he started to move away, as if to leave, but he picked up an old Bible of the old man's. I was so confident that I joked and laughed even more. I showed them his harmonium in the corner of the room.
Made in Paris.
I even played a few notes on it. To my delight, they sat down at my invitation. It was cold, I said, and they should have a warm. Oh, how I enjoyed that. The three of them sitting in the room laughing and relaxed in their ignorance. Suddenly I heard it. A dull rhythmic beat, like a heartbeat. My head ached. I fought to expel the noise from my mind. It got louder, more distinct. I had to do something, anything to stop it.
Play a game. How about a game?
I tried to get them to play a game, but they looked at me briefly and carried on with their conversation. And the noise went on and on and on. Surely they must hear it. I must stop it. I had to stop it. I got up in my anguish and sought to distract them with an old book full of interesting things. I tried to interest them in the book.
Look at it.
But they just looked at me and went on talking to each other. I begged them to read it. It was very interesting. They didn't listen. They didn't listen. I had to stop the pounding noise of his heart. They would hear it. They must hear it. It was loud and beating in my brain. I rattled the chair over his body. Nothing. It went on and on. I mustn't let them suspect where the noise came from. I would have to get them away before they too heard it. As I tried to get off their attention, it got louder and faster. Louder and louder and louder and faster. I had to stop it, but how? What could I do? I pleaded with them. I tried, but they wouldn't listen. And all the time, the beats got louder and louder. I had to stop it before it was too late.
That's enough. You must say you can all hear. You can't. Stop it playing, for God's sake. Stop it. Quiet! His heart must stop beating. Stop it! I implore you! His body's there, under the floor. Stop him, please. Cut out his heart. Stop. Stop.
So remember, don't wear your heart on your sleeve. It's far safer to keep it in a bottle.